Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today to video number 4. Today I created a Met Gala inspired look by Priyanka Chopra. I saw her on TV and I was like, oh my god, like her makeup looks so nice. So this is what I came up with. I really hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, please consider subscribing and joining my teeny tiny family for right now. And I really hope you enjoy the video, and if you do recreate it, please tag me on Instagram. It is Raps Beauty. And without further ado, let's just get into the video. So a trend I was noticing for the gala was like a really glowy base. So today, to achieve that look, I'm going to be using the Dr. Brandt Pores More Luminizing Primer. And I'm just going to smooth that on my face, mainly focusing it on the center of my face. And with primer, I like to just press it into my skin because this is also supposed to be pore filling. So to do that, I'm just gonna press that in. And next, I'm just gonna moisturize my lips with my Carmex Classic Lip Balm. So I've given the primer some time to set into my skin, and we're gonna move on to foundation next. I'm gonna be mixing. So these are my two favorite foundations to mix right now. It's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r foundation by Rihanna in the shade 300, and then I mix a little bit of the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 330. So this one's too dark, this one's too light. Together they're really good, and I feel like the Fenty Beauty gives the Maybelline one a little bit more coverage, and the Maybelline one gives, even though it says matte and poreless, I feel like it gives the Fenty Beauty one a little bit more luminosity, so that's nice. So I try to just mix equal parts onto the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna mix it up with my finger and put it on my face, and then blend it out with my Morphe beauty sponge. So what was your favorite look from the Met Gala? I really liked Priyanka's look. I thought it was cool. The makeup this year, I just felt like everyone looked really similar. I think Gigi Hadid's cool toned eyeshadow look was really different. It really matched her stained glass dress. Kim Kardashian's look was really cool too. It was really intense. It was kind of different for her. No, it wasn't that different for her. It was really dramatic compared to like what she's been doing recently with like just that natural look. But besides that, everyone else like kind of looked really similar to me. Like, okay, so once that's really blended and all of my pimples are covered, I'm gonna go in with concealer. I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer in the medium shade. I didn't want to go really heavy because again, everyone just looked really luminous and like effortless. So I wanted to go in with like a lighter concealer because the Tarte Shape Tape will like cover everything, but it'll let people know it's doing its job. And then I'm also going to cover my eyelids with it as a primer. And then just go down the center of my face to highlight. With concealer, I like to just let it sit for like a couple of seconds, minutes to just get a little tacky, so when you blend it out, it doesn't really move around a lot, and I feel like it retains more of its coverage. So we're gonna sit for a second with me looking like this, and then we'll blend it out with the same Morphe blend. So once I blend out my concealer, I do like to just go around the edges with the part that I blended out my foundation with, just to make sure everything kind of blends into each other seamlessly. I don't really like the look of like a harsh highlight. And now we're just gonna set my under eyes, and for that I'm gonna bake a little bit with the Coty Airspun powder. I feel like for events, like baking is just a little bit, it's nice because it helps like hold your concealer in place, and I do kind of take it liberal, like really a lot of it, just so that also like the rest of my face sets too, because around my like nose area is where I get like really oily and product tends to come off. And I'm also going to lightly bake the top of my eyelids, again they're really dry, and melt it. And then I'm not gonna let this bake for a really long time. It's pretty much like 20 to 30 seconds because otherwise it starts to look really dry. Okay, next I'm gonna work on eyebrows. I'm gonna be using the Brow Power. I think this is in the shade Universal Taupe. I'm just gonna do light strokes and I'm gonna focus majority of the product on the lower part of my brow. Again, just to bring a lot of definition to that arch, but not really make the eyebrows look super overdone. So to start with the eyes, I'm going to be using this shade Sienna from the Anastasia quad. And I'm going to be going in with the Morphe M518. And I'm just going to diffuse this in my crease, but like blown out a little bit. Because it doesn't look like she's using a lot of color. It's just blown out. And with blending eyeshadow, the more you blend it out, the more where you first put the product, it retains its color and it starts getting lighter as you go up, so it looks like you're using more than one eyeshadow shade when you're really actually using one. So what you just do is you start it off in crease, the majority of the product, and then either if you're light-handed enough and you don't get too much product on your brush, you can use the same brush to blend up, but I dispensed a little bit too much on this brush, so I'm going to just focus that on my crease and then go in with a clean brush to just diffuse it upwards. So just going in windshield wiper motions, a light hand, building that color up in my crease. I'm just going to take the same Morphe M518 but clean, and I'm just going to work over top of that and just diffuse it upwards. And you can see it's like darker right here, but the more I work it upwards, it's diffusing into my skin and it just looks like it might be a different shade. Once that's all blended, I'm going to go in with the gold, and for the gold I'm going to be using the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in this shade Reversible. It's a really pretty gold shimmery shade. I've been really into Colourpop Super Shock eyeshadows lately. I feel like they're such good quality. So I'm just gonna use my finger to put that on to the tops of my eyelid. And this part, like I noticed on almost every gold eyeshadow look that it was pretty messy. Nobody was really like doing a cut crease or, you know, like a super defined eye look. So I'm just going to put that on with my finger and I'm just blending that in with that crease shade, bringing it up a little bit but not too much into the crease. So I'm going to be going in with two glitter products. The first is a Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow in the shade Golden Goddess. I'm just going to, again, really messily just dot this all over my eye. And I'm going to take it almost like into my crease because what I want to happen is, because again this gold was going up pretty high in their eye looks, is when I open my eye I want it to kind of hit my crease a little bit more. So I'm applying this pretty messily. And then just to add a little bit more drama, I'm going to be going in with the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter in the shade Midnight Cowboy. And again, just really messily just dotting this over to add a little bit more glitter. Let that dry a little bit and I'm going to work on my face and then come back to finish off the eyes once it's a little bit more tacky. Usually I'd say like when you put glitter on to let it dry off completely and keep your eyes closed so it doesn't get messy. But again, it's a little bit more effortless, a little bit more worn in glitter look, so it's fine if it gets a little bit all over the place. It actually would add to the look. So everyone obviously had a defined face, so to do that I'm going to be using the IBY Beauty Highlight and Contour Kit. I received this in a boxy charm. I'm not going to show you the inside because it's kind of messy. It looks like this, like any normal standard contour kit. And I'm just going to take just the full row of the top one and blend that, just push that into my under eye area to help brighten that up. To contour my face, I'm going to be using the Contour 3 shade in the palette and the Morphe E8 brush. And I'm just going to take the corner of the brush or like one end of the brush and dip it into the product, tap off that excess, and just work like that corner into my cheekbones. And I'm not going to go really intense with it because Priyanka didn't look like obviously contoured, but her face just had a lot of structure. It might be natural. I don't know. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. I was so happy to see more involvement from like the brown community. I mean, I'm Pakistani, so there wasn't any, I don't know if there was any Pakistani males or females on the carpet, but just being brown and seeing Priyanka and Deepika on the Met Gala carpet, it just always means a lot to me because I'm like, I can kind of resonate, like, oh my god, like maybe one day, not me, but someone that's like more brown looking will just be like around more, that like, so that girls can, you know, see themselves on TV too, which would be so nice because I don't look like a lot of girls on TV. So I'm also going to make my big forehead a little bit smaller by contouring the sides. And so what I do is I just follow my forehead a little bit, and then right by the brow bone I bring in the contour a little bit, and that just makes like my forehead look a little bit smaller and narrower. And then to diffuse out that contour line, I'm going to be taking the Morphe Y11 brush and just mixing the other two shades, which are contour 1 and 2. And then I'm going to blend on top of this. And so this will kind of bronze up my face, but also blend out that harsh line that the contour created. Priyanka's cheeks were really rosy actually, or they had a lot of blush on them. So I'm going to be going in a little heavy-handedly with the MAC Gingerly blush. And this is the Luxie 504. And I'm going to heavily pack that on to my cheeks. She looked really blushed in the photographs. I really did like the look of like heavy blush, and I saw Emilia Clarke also have a lot of blush, and like she connected her eyes and her blush, and I really think that's such like a really pretty look. And I think it's pretty on trend for spring, because with spring I've noticed it always goes a little bit more minimal with the looks, and so just using your blush as eyeshadow as well, like I feel like it's so cool. So yeah, and then on top of that, I feel like I put on too much blush, but again, her look had a lot of blush. I'm just gonna go in with an e.l.f. kabuki brush and push it into my skin. So I'm gonna be going in with the Becca highlighter in Opal because Priyanka looked like she had more of a champagne-y highlight going on. And I'm gonna be going in with the Bo Gatches, sorry, illuminator brush. I also received this in a BoxyCharm, or it might have been an Ipsy bag, one of the two. And I'm just gonna pack that on and then lightly dust it all on my cheekbones, and then I'm going to hit that a lot on my eyebrow, and then whatever's left over I'm just gonna take a little bit above. Everyone looked really glowy and illuminated for the show. Again, I assume that's because we assume like angels are glowy and heavenly bodies would be glowy. And I forgot to just define my nose, so I'm going to do that really quick. And I'm just going to do that with a Morphe MB25 brush. It's like a crease brush, it's a little bit denser. And I'm going to go back into that same contour palette, but I'm just going to use a 1 and 2 shade. I'm not going to go really dark with my nose. I hate super obvious nose contours. Thankfully, Priyanka has a rounder nose too, so I don't really have to like manipulate the shape of me. So I'm just going to take it like right down the sides of my nose. Quickly, I'm just going to work really quick on my lower lash line, and I'm just going to take that same sienna shade that I was using from ABH and just run that on my lower lash line with that same brush. Before I put on mascara and everything, I'm just going to mist my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Completely dry, and I'm going to go in with Morphe blending sponge and just tap that into my skin to make sure everything kind of settles in and is locked in place. Okay, so next I'm just going to go in with mascara. I'm going to be using the Butter London Double Decker Mascara, and I'm going to coat my upper and lower lashes. Okay, now that the mascara is on, the last thing left to do is the lips. So Priyanka had like a red berry toned lip going, so I'm going to start off with using the MAC Cherry Lip Liner, and I'm going to line my lips and also fill them in. Over top of that, I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Brick. This is one of my all-time favorite liquid lipstick colors. Okay guys, so this is the completed look. This was my interpretation of what Priyanka Chopra looked like for the Met Gala. I really enjoyed creating this look. I really like how the eyeshadow came out. I feel like I did a pretty good job recreating that. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me any suggestions for future videos if you want to see any more recreations. And I will catch you in my next one. Bye!